Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dolan.
This week, courtesy of Aaron Daly in our office and his recent trip to Colorado Springs to see a Tool concert.
Yeah.
In Denver, but
That
then
sounds-
stayed in Colorado Springs.
That sounds right for him.
Yeah. He brought back this beer, local relic, maple sugar, Belgian Saison. Yep.
Wow.
Those are words.
That's a lot.
I've never said those words altogether in my
No.
entire life. I can't wait to open this and try it.
It's kind of like a tongue twister.
I'm kind of scared, actually. I don't know what to expect.
I don't either, because usually Saisons are real floral and dry.
Right.
And this is mapley and
Tons of maple
sugary
sugar.
and-
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not a Saison fan.
Oh my God. It
What's
smells like syrup.
Oh my goodness. Like last week. It's a little more floral, though. It has some, maybe the Saison yeast or whatever they use there. I don't know. Local Relic is located at 320 South Weber Street, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Closed Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday through Thursday, 3 to 9. Friday, 3 to 10. Saturday, 10 to 10 with brunch. And Sunday, 10 to 5, also with brunch.
Yes, 2 days of brunch.
I'll tell you, that's Pinky's out right there if you're going to have brunch at the brewery. Oh.
Yeah, especially at this one.
Let's try this beer, and then I will tell you about this brewery because it is unique.
So is that beer.
What?
That's weird.
Okay, that's strange.
That's different.
It's like, hey, I'm maple syrup. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm a beer. That burns.
Wait, now I'm kind of back again.
Weird.
I had to go in it again because I'm not even really sure what I'm tasting.
Brain's just like, what?
The aftertaste is kind of metallic.
A little bit.
I think that's Saison-y stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
I don't know. Florally to me.
What's the ABV on this, Dolan? Do you know?
Let me look. It is 7.5.
Okay.
Barrel aged-ish.
Uh-huh.
So,
35 bottles produced. So this is
That's it.
yeah.
That's it. Super small batch.
art on the bottle, art in the bottle.
I will tell you about the art on the bottle as we get into this a little bit.
Okay.
So that's every bottle's art is different and it's all local.
Okay.
And if your art is chosen for the bottle, you get 2 free bottles of that beer.
Oh, cool.
And you don't have to be a professional artist. They actually prefer non-professionals. Like this one with a little lizard guy on the front. Maybe it's professional. I don't know.
It's kind of cool. I mean, it's fun to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that. Reminds me of for some reason, those Blue Dog prints. Remember those in the 90s?
I do
from
remember
out of New
those.
Orleans?
Yep, I do remember
Looks
those.
kind of like that to me.
Maybe a little little melty too, kind of the old, maybe.
Huh. Well, local Relic. There's not much out there.
No.
What I could find. They share space with 2 restaurants.
Yes.
So there's like a brewery and maybe it's a big building. I don't know.
I'll tell you about
Couldn't
the
even
building.
see some pictures.
The building is super interesting. I'll get into that.
Okay. One of the restaurants I found was called Immense Cuisine. That's it. Immense Cuisine by Chef Beavers.
Oh.
Beavers
Okay.
is his
Okay,
last name.
that's fine.
And then the other one, why they have brunch twice, is a place called BFD.
Big fucking deal.
No, breakfast for dinner.
Oh.
But good shot there.
No, I tried.
Which is one of my favorite movies is Juno.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
one of the days they're having, they call it Brenner,
Oh, Brenner.
breakfast for dinner. So
Let's be honest. That's the best dinner, right?
it's pretty good.
I love it.
It's it for Oscar quite a bit.
I love it.
He likes a egg patty, make a nice little circular egg patty and some bacon and maybe a French toast stick. Oh,
pancake.
dinner. Yeah.
Over on the side, maybe.
Problem with breakfast when you make it at home is it takes like every pan you have and it's hard to
Absolutely.
keep it hot all at the same time.
Yep.
It's a pain. It's really like a workout.
Yeah.
So, and also it's in the first thing in the morning. That's overwhelming. So maybe at nighttime, that's the way to go. I don't know.
Yeah. I much prefer breakfast for dinner rather than just breakfast at breakfast.
Yeah, I want to be hungry because I want to eat a lot of bacon.
Let me ask you this. Could you have dinner for breakfast then? Like, could
I
you
do.
have steak,
Oh, I do.
potatoes,
Yep.
green beans?
Literally, like whatever's left over from the night
That's
before.
breakfast, man.
I just eat it for breakfast and head out the door.
Breakfast for dinner
you
for
go.
breakfast.
Yep.
Yep.
Leftover spaghetti.
Yep.
It's the best.
Same thing.
It's the best. I actually
Sometimes
think-
it's better, like
I think it
fajitas or
gets
something.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chili, things like that.
Yeah.
They had a menu online. They had broke down in 3 different things. So I wrote down a couple that sounded interesting to me. Their small plates menu. So kind of fancy like appetizers, I
Like
guess.
tapas.
Something similar to that. They had one called belly and egg. So it was like pork belly with, I guess, not poached egg, but it wasn't like a fried egg or anything. It was like something fancier.
Interesting.
Upscale. I don't even know what it was. And then they had Thai-style beef tartare.
Oh, Thai style.
So I guess a little spicy, maybe some peanut sauce. I don't know, but that's their appetizer. So this is the kind of place where we're talking about. The bar menu. This is, think of it as like maybe a lunch or whatever, something smaller. Curry coconut mussels. That's on the menu.
Weird.
Ooh, I had something like this somewhere. Super good.
And then salmon tostadas. That's on the menu.
I love me some smoked salmon.
And then the dinner menu. This got weird because it was words I've seen before.
Okay.
But I've never had
But
anything
never
like
food
this.
that you've eaten.
Smoked bison sausage linguine. Those are all things I know about, but
Wow.
not together. And exotic mushroom tamales. That was another thing that they had. Dessert. Apple walnut bread pudding, which I think my wife is a big bread pudding fan. And Belgian chocolate mousse. Now, this is at the Chef Beaver's restaurant.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And then at the old BFD, I wrote down a couple of their things. They seem to be into mushrooms at this place.
Yeah.
Mushroom and feta omelet.
Yum.
Then they had smoked brisket huevos rancheros. Probably be pretty good. Exotic mushroom bowl. Someone who does not like mushrooms, in my mind, that's just a big heaping bowl of different gross mushrooms.
I would eat the shit out of that.
I love mushrooms.
guys are gross.
Like all kinds of mushrooms.
Even the canned ones.
Okay, the canned ones are I like in like stroganoff or something like that.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, something like that. But
Yep.
I'm a big, huge I love chestnut mushrooms. Those are my favorite.
I like to, as I'm slicing them up, if I'm going to grill them or something, then just like put a little salt on one and eat it. There's something just earthy.
Raw.
And, so good, so
in a
good.
salad raw.
Yeah,
so good.
so good. You're missing out. You are missing out.
The sweetest thing crepes. That's like their dessert. So there you go. So different menus, different like, I don't know if clientele's the right word, but you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like one's like ooh la la, and the other's like get your brunch on. That's kind of how I felt.
I'll get to that here in the TripAdvisor.
All right. Beer stuff I found was interesting. They had 18 taps, which is pretty good.
That's a lot.
But they also have bottles. They said up to 100 different bottles. It rotates through.
Jeez.
So maybe something similar to like a Cunningham's.
Yeah.
Where you can go and get stuff that maybe you wouldn't normally see at a restaurant, right?
Yep.
But it's kind of like, hey, we're into beer here, and
Yeah.
try something that you can't get most places. Some of the other beers that they have, maybe not in this series, but probably still small batch. I don't know if it's 35, but some of them where I was just like, what is this all about? 2022 Jelly Bean Tripel. I think it really has jelly beans.
That seems just like a bastardization of a Tripel, but that's okay. That's all right.
I mean, I guess.
We're drinking a maple sugar Saison. So.
They had a barrel-aged IPA with
Weird.
Mosaic and Citra, and it's aged for 4 months. It's 6.9%. I've had a couple barrel-aged IPAs before. It just adds flavor. I mean, it doesn't really punch up the ABV or anything like you do like on a barrel-aged stout. So if you like a drier IPA with some of that oaky stuff, then they have one there. They have one IPA called Zappa Smash because they use Zappa hops.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, so those are probably weird.
As in Frank?
And arty? I don't know.
I was going to say, I thought
assume.
that's where we were going here.
URFA, which is a kind of chili. Saison rye. They have 9.7%. So these URFA chilies, that's what they use, and they just like steep them in the beer, and then just let it sit in the barrel for a while and make it like this.
Yikes.
Almost 10%. Pink guava wit. So
Kind of sounds really good.
I bet you it is summertime. That's a 5.1%er. And then orange Ceylon tea table Saison, 4.6.
Table Saison.
Yeah.
Like a table wine. Yeah, it's just table Saison.
Saison, yeah. So
Okay.
I'm guessing citrus, but dry. Mix it with that floral, thing that Saisons seem to have. I don't know what the tea brings to that. I've had some green tea in some beers before. Like I think Crane has a tea Weiss. So it's a flavor profile that's in there, green tea specifically. But this one is orange Ceylon, whatever that is. And then you talked about the art stuff, which I thought was cool too. I did see that.
Yes.
So you have to like make an account on their website to submit your whatever. And it, from what I could tell, you probably looked at it more.
Yes.
It just looked like it didn't really have to do anything with the beer. They're just like, hey, send us something cool that looks neat, and we'll figure out what to do with it. It's kind of the vibe I got. I don't know.
No. That's kind of the vibe I got too. Was like you could just, they didn't care. They would just take art, and if they liked it, they'd slap it on the label. Didn't matter if it made any sense to the beer or not.
Well, I mean, if you're going to make a lot of limited edition beers like this, it makes sense. I mean, you need to put something on there, and you can't really.
Right.
Well, and then I guess you get away from the, hey, we had to hire somebody to design something for us.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't pay for it. We gave them some beers.
Yeah.
But it's cool to, be able to like get your artwork out there. They did say, did you see that it said instead of like payment or whatever, you got the beers, but then also they like would shout you out on their social media
Yes,
and they're
yeah.
on the label. It says like where to go get more art or prints, or if you
That's
have that
cool.
sort of websites or a web store or whatever. I don't know if it's even local. I wonder if you can be from anywhere and send it to them, because you'd have to go. I mean, it's not like we can just go and pick this beer up, not with
No.
35 bottles made.
I wonder. They had a link to the site where you
should've
could
clicked it.
submit your art.
I wonder if they'll take a stick man. That's what I can do.
Maybe.
That's the only
A
art I
little
got.
lizard
It might
guy
be
here. I
pretty
mean,
cool.
this is cool, but it really is just like a little lizard looking at the sun going down.
I mean, does that have anything to do with maple sugar?
No.
I don't think so, but it looks cool.
It looks cool. It fits.
That is good.
Well-
It warms up. It's changed a little bit.
It does. I rather enjoy this, and I don't think I would order it, but because obviously it would scare me away. The Saison part would scare me away.
It's weird because first drink, I'm like, I don't know. But I just keep finding myself taking another and another and another. And then I poured some more. And then
Yep.
The
Yeah.
sugar, I was scared it was going to be, I was scared
You
it was
were
going to be
scared.
sweet. And it's not sweet to
There's a
me.
little bit of sweetness to it, but not nearly what you would think.
I'd rather have it a little sweet than just a normal Saison. That super dry.
Yep.
Saisons are my least favorite beer style.
same.
I believe that's true for me too.
I think most
Yeah.
people feel like that. I don't know.
It takes something special for me to drink a Saison, and that's what this is, I think, in the end.
Just
So-
dump in a whole bunch of maple sugar.
And that's what's special. The brewery exists with other vendors in a building called the Carter Payne.
Okay.
Okay. On their website, their brewery is described as a nano-scale brewery based in Colorado Springs, producing more than 200 beers per year. Much like Farm to Table, their goal is to use imagination and care in fostering of unique ingredients to intentionally nuanced, complex beers,
Yeah.
which is exactly what that is.
This ain't one you take to the tailgate. I would say.
Yeah, you're not Edward 40 Hands in this one.
I would hope not.
Well, I mean, if you're,
Hey, whatever.
you could.
If you've been on the beer journey a long time, maybe you do.
If you drank enough of those 15%ers we had last week,
Anything's possible.
right? You see one of those in the cooler?
Yeah.
Hey,
All
let's
right.
go.
It is like a cool shaped bottle. It looks single serve to me. That's just me.
It could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. So the brewery itself with the other vendors is located in the historic Payne Chapel. So it's an old church.
Ooh, okay.
And if you look at the pictures, like that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
In downtown Colorado Springs. The church was constructed in the late 1890s on land donated by General William Jackson Palmer. Sounds very official.
Yeah.
If you have to include the middle name in there, I mean, that's very official.
Yeah.
But he was only a general, I guess, and was the longtime home of the Payne Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church.
Wow, that's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words. Ironically, the first all-black congregation in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So,
And when was it? 18 what?
1890s.
Okay.
So it was the African Methodist Episcopal Church.
Okay.
So that was a melting pot.
Yeah.
There.
Colorado Springs.
Yeah, in Colorado Springs. 1986, it was sold, went through a number of different uses. It was an event and catering venue. There was a beer bar called the Green Man Tap Room that was in there for a while, which suddenly closed in 2015 due to a tenant-landlord dispute. So
We
just
have
like
a lot
that.
of those around here
Yeah.
lately. A lot of rents going up, and businesses have been there for a long time. We're just like, well, see you later.
Yep, peace out.
Yeah.
Local Relic actually addressed that in an email when they bought this building and said, yeah, we know it was a bar before, and yes, we know how that ended, and no, we do not plan to follow suit.
Oh.
So they address the history of that building, but then now they share it with the other food venues
restaurant.
and stuff. So it looked like there was a place for local art in the
Like a
in there as
gallery?
well. Kind of, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That reminds me a little bit of, in Ashland, they have the Glacier Till tap room,
Yep.
the cidery or whatever, and they have like it's kind of like an art, feels like an art museum when you go in there, really, more than a tap room. You feel like you have to be quiet. There's pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
It's kind of fancy in there.
Whisper.
It's fun. I like those kind of things.
Yeah.
We had my brother-in-law was camping out there at near Ashland,
Like Mahoney State or
Yep,
something?
Yep, Mahoney.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was camping in Mahoney, and we went down there. We're like, hey, hung out with them for a little bit at their campsite. We're like, hey, we're gonna leave because we've never been to Glacial Till. We're gonna go check it out. We're gonna grab some dinner or whatever. So we went down there, and that's exactly what it was. Like, we just came from a campfire. Like, I'm wearing sweatpants and like a shirt, thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be like a tap room type of place. Probably be fine. I walk in and I whispered to Sam, I'm like, I don't think they allow sweatpants in here. But they totally did. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you
we
can.
had charcuterie and a soup and a bunch of cider. So,
It's a fun spot. I like to go there.
yeah.
I haven't been there in a long time, but it's neat. It's far enough that you feel like you're going somewhere from Omaha.
Right.
But it's not that far that it's like prohibitive to get there.
Cute little town.
Yep.
I wasn't sure where to go, but then two things jumped out at me. The first thing was the maple syrup.
Yeah.
Right? And the other thing was Chef Beavers. And I put those things together and I thought, it just makes me think about Canada.
Oh, okay.
So what I found this article online. It was about Canadian stereotypes.
Okay.
So we're going to chat about stereotypes, especially ones from Canada. And then we're going to hit up maybe some that we've got here in our state.
Okay.
So they say out and about. They say it oot and a boot.
A boot. Yes.
Oot and a boot.
A boot.
I think they say that's not true. So what I'm going to say is what the stereotype is, and then I'll give you the information off the website.
I believe that's absolutely true.
I feel like it's true.
Yeah.
One of the other ones is all Canadians speak French. Not true.
No.
Some do. I
Yeah,
mean,
Quebec is
yeah,
French
Quebec.
all the way, but
Right.
other ones it is not. But people, I guess, just generalize that they speak French in Canada because of the French,
Yeah.
Right.
fur trapping history of the town.
Quebec is pretend Paris. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool strip clubs up there, what I heard.
Whoa.
Anyway,
Whoa.
Canada is always cold. I feel like that's probably accurate.
I think that's fairly accurate.
Yeah.
They're pretty north.
Canadians skate to work.
And that's like we ride our cows to work here in Nebraska.
They do that
That's
in
not
Minnesota.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. They said that's kind of true because some people do actually skate to work.
Interesting.
The largest skating rink in the world is in Ottawa. And this is the one that some people do skate to work on. They had the longest rink, they quoted that, in Winnipeg. And it's in the wintertime when the river freezes over.
Yeah.
It's like right in the middle of town, and people will just get on it and skate up the river and take their skates off and go to work.
I was going to say, it's actually people skate Lake Superior.
Yeah.
Like they, not across or whatever, but
Around on it and stuff.
around on it and stuff. Yeah.
Plus, it's like, for the most part, usually a pretty straight way to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can skate faster than you can walk. So,
Right.
hey, maybe. I don't know. All Canadians can ice skate. They said, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I think that's accurate.
And
Yeah.
all Canadians love hockey.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, that's pretty
Probably,
accurate.
yeah.
Tim Hortons coffee is overconsumed. And they said, oh, yeah, duh.
Tim Hortons?
Yeah, that's like the Starbucks of Canada.
Oh.
It's like a convenience store and coffee shop. They have breakfast sandwiches there. It's like a McDonald's that has like other stuff there.
Really?
I went to one in Vancouver, and this was not on the list, but I feel is very accurate. Canadians love ketchup chips.
That is true.
You know what they love more than ketchup chips?
What?
All flavor chips.
Yeah, the all dressed or
All
whatever.
dressed. Yeah. So
Weird.
it's
Yeah.
like when I think of a bag of Lay's,
Yeah.
I go instantly classic. Yellow bag of Lay's.
Sure.
Yep.
You know, that's what I think of.
Yep.
When they think of Lay's or chips, it's all dressed. Like that's the one that they go to.
Strange. The flavors are weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw some ketchup ones at Tim Hortons in Vancouver. Interesting. So that's real. I did research on that.
Did you eat them?
No, gross.
They're
Ketchup chips?
pretty all right.
I think they're not bad.
Yeah, they're not bad at all.
It's
The
like
all dressed
powdered
ones
ketchup. Yeah, it's interesting.
No.
are.
All Canadians love maple syrup.
Yeah.
It is the largest producer in the world, mostly for export. They said, man, Canadians are kind of over maple syrup.
Really?
They're just like, hey, it's kind of like, the wooden shoes we were talking about, Dutch.
Yeah.
Like, these are for you to take home as a souvenir,
Yeah. Okay.
not for us to wear on a
But
day-to-day.
What do they use instead of like ketchup on their fries? It's like the vinegar.
Mayonnaise? Oh,
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
something weird.
Yeah.
Polar bears. They're everywhere in Canada.
Huh.
Well, in some places.
In some places,
There's
yeah.
a town called Churchill, Manitoba.
Okay.
There are so many polar bears that it's kind of like maybe an Estes when you're driving up and there's elk.
Everywhere.
Well, in this town, there's so many polar bears that show up. No one locks their doors to their cars because if you're out on the street, you need to get away from a polar bear. They leave the car door open so you can jump in the car and slam it shut so the polar bear don't get you.
Oh.
And they do the same thing with the houses because they're just in the town. They're just there.
Weird.
And polar bears are pretty big and scary.
Yeah.
They say sorry a lot.
Sorry.
That's true. Then one of them said, free healthcare is bad. Like, not so much. And they are on the imperial system.
Okay.
But then they said, kind of. So we have problems in the United States with the metric system. We're like, no, we don't like that.
Right.
Well, Canada's like, give us some of that and give us some of this one. So here's how it breaks down.
Okay.
They measure things like miles per kilometer, so speed, or distances
Well, that's not confusing at all.
in meters. Height, however, is measured in feet. So if you're going fast, it's a meter, but height is a foot.
Get out of here.
That's how they do it. If you're outside, you say, hey, what's the temperature outside? They'll say, oh, it's 8 Celsius. It's 8. But if you're cooking something, what does the oven need to be set to? 400.
Oh, yeah.
They do that. You weigh at the grocery store. You're like, how much are these bananas? Oh, they're 0.8 kilos. How much do I weigh? Oh, 100 pounds.
Man, really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Those are just some of the examples I wrote down. And then igloos. People are like, oh, they live in igloos.
Maybe north.
Probably some people do.
Maybe. You never know.
So that was the list that I found of Canadian stereotypes with, maple syrup trees and whatnot. And then you mentioned one earlier for Nebraska. I said ride horses. You said cows.
Cows, yeah.
That was something whenever I went to Nebraska, especially if like for a football game, go to like Oklahoma, Texas or something like that.
Right.
Or when I go to New Orleans for Mardi Gras and they'd hear we were from Nebraska, they'd be like, you have one-room schools there?
Right.
Like
churn your own butter. Yeah.
And the other one I wrote was they're just corn everywhere. There's no cities. Nobody thinks we have cities.
Western Nebraska, that's not necessarily untrue.
That's not too far from the truth. There's always a little truth to stereotypes.
You say ope.
Ope.
That's true.
I
I
say
Ope
that.
a lot. I
That's
say
a
ope.
Kansas thing too.
was
It's
going to
a
ask.
mid-
I wrote down my notes. Kansas versus Wyoming.
Yeah.
Midwest thing, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That the vinegar I was talking about earlier was malt vinegar. They use that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Malt vinegar. I think is that a British fish and chips sort of deal,
I
or
believe it
Irish
is.
maybe?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it probably brought that over when they were settling.
I enjoy me some malt vinegar on the.
It's just what it
fish and
smells like at
chips.
Long John's. You walk in there, it's all it smells like.
Yeah.
I remember my dad would just douse the shit out of his fish because he didn't like fish. So he would just, if we had to go to Long John Silver's.
Let's malt vinegar it up, man.
Uh-huh.
I had fish for dinner last night. It was good. Fish I caught, actually.
It's not, ooh.
It was white bass from my fishing trip.
You
It was
went
my
fishing.
last bag, yeah.
So in high school, I went to a national speech and debate competition, and we met some kids from Boston, the Boston area.
Oh, yeah.
And
Did
they
you have chowder?
No, they no, it was here in Lincoln.
Oh,
so
okay.
I just happened to make nationals my senior year, and it's a different place every year, and it
it's
happened
here?
to be in Lincoln.
Boring.
And I was
Yeah.
like so bummed because the year after was Denver, the year after that was Houston, and yeah. So
Lincoln.
I made it
Boring.
the year that it was in Lincoln. So actually, Lincoln has a big speech and debate with
Yeah.
their coach at Lincoln Northeast or something like
pretty
that.
good, right?
He's like written a ton of plays that are super popular or whatever. Anyway, beside the point, met some kids from Boston, and they were like surprised that there was cities.
Oh,
Yeah.
They like they were like, yeah, like probably an hour that way. We drove to this big city. And I'm
Oh, it
like,
was Omaha?
Yeah, it was Omaha.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And like, yeah, like I couldn't believe there was tall buildings and there was cars and there was whatever. And and I was like, yeah, well, I mean, what did you think?
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, well, I don't know. We just thought Nebraska was just a lot of farms and people rode around on horses and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like that in my hometown. Like maybe like one family has a car, but that's because they're rich and they bought it. They totally
real.
believed it. Yeah.
Well, and, like people don't know about those states. You know, on the coast, they don't know what goes on in the middle.
Right.
Yeah. The ironic part of that is they all sound like Bobby Kennedy. They were the stereotype, not Dolan. They were the stereotype. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
How many cars you got here?
I like that.
Yeah.
God.
Cars. TripAdvisor on this one. This is where we go back to the maybe a little more fancy,
Upscale.
upscale.
Okay.
This guy here should not have been here. Shouldn't have. I think his
Okay.
wife probably drug him to wherever this is in Colorado Springs. Or,
Okay.
you know, she wanted to do some like craft shopping or whatever. and he
all right.
thought he found a beer bar that had some good food.
He was a few years too late. He needed to go to the Green Man.
I think so too.
All right.
So TripAdvisor 4.5 out of 5 on 13 reviews. This guy gave it a 2 though, which is a poor review, and this is why. Good beer, poor menu. While the beer selection was good, the food menu had a lot to be desired. It consisted of dishes that were offbeat and contained ingredients the casual diner would not order. It appeals to a niche audience and not much else. You're in the wrong place, pal.
Like, I just wanted a hot dog.
Hey, you got cheeseburgers here?
Where's the trail mix on the counter? Or the, whatever, the peanuts in the bowl.
I like pretzels.
Yeah. I mean, those are great too.
Sure.
I love all those
But
things.
I can eat some other stuff.
Know
you know?
your audience though. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. You walked in and you knew what you were walking into.
Honestly, if I'm drinking a beer like this, I would have the bison linguine.
Oh, that does sound good.
It does
That
sound really good.
I'd try it for sure. It sounds good, yeah. Stuff that you wouldn't make at home, probably.
Have you guys been to Colorado Springs?
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Many times.
I love that town. I used to go once or twice a year when my grandpa lived there before he moved up in the mountains. And there's a lot of things. If you've never been to Colorado Springs, there's a lot of things to do. You've got Garden of the Gods. You've got the Air Force Base, which is really fun tour. I've never actually done the tour, but I have friends who have done it.
Yep.
Garden of the Gods. You have Seven Falls,
Seven
which
Falls, yeah.
is kind of fun as long as the hikes are open.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Seven Falls like area itself, unless you go during the day when the actual events are happening, little bit of a boring place, but if you're a hiker, you would love it.
It's a touristy thing.
Yeah, it's a touristy thing.
Yeah.
Old Colorado Springs, like Old Colorado City, I guess is what they call. You walk up and down the strip. It's kind of like a downtown shopping area. A lot of cool restaurants, ice cream shops. We've got the balloon festival there every year.
Like hot air balloon?
Hot air balloons.
Okay.
I go down to the city square and see that all the time. Used to go to the music store across the street, check that place out. They've got Pikes Peak if you just go up a little bit of the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Manitou Springs, that's a really fun town to hang out. Very artsy. They've got the Manitou Steps if you're a fit person.
Oh, no.
It's just a stairway all the way up the mountain. So
legit, that's what it is.
yeah, it's I hear it's really, really, really hard to accomplish, but like high school soccer teams and track teams and stuff like that, they'll just go and run it once a day.
God, no.
And then you've got the caves.
Cave of the Winds.
Cave of
Yeah,
the
I've
Winds.
been there.
It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
There's just so much to do in this area of Colorado. And you can go all up west in there, and there's just mountains and trails and hiking, and like you could it's probably one of my favorite parts of Colorado. Just that area and a little bit west up in the mountains. There's really fun scenic drives. If you've never been in that area, you need to go. Like, just go.
Very family friendly too.
Very family friendly. Yeah, so if you're looking for your next contract,
There you go.
Colorado
might want to
Springs.
think about
Colorado
that
Springs.
that area. Yeah,
All right.
South Park area is what they call it. So,
Oh. Hey guys. Untapped. 19 check-ins.
So somewhere out there's a few bottles that haven't been opened.
Exactly. Yeah.
dang.
That's consistent though. I mean, 35 bottles produced, 19 of them have been checked in. After we check in, it'll be 20.
That doesn't even. I mean, it's 19 check-ins.
Check-ins,
but
yeah.
that doesn't consider the bottle. I mean,
Yeah,
we're gonna
true.
get 3 check-ins on
Yeah.
one bottle.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So
Maybe some people still got it in the cellar. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. What do you think we land on? 19 check-ins.
Dude, this is the lowest ever we've ever done, I think.
I think you're right. You might be right.
I'm gonna go 362.
I don't even know if I can go without it like a 5 or a 0 in mine because the numbers are so low. I'll say 3.75.
3.91.
Yeah.
I think 'cause
Okay.
it's just so unique.
Yeah.
I guess if I walked into this thinking, oh, it's just a Saison, and then I had it, I would rate it. This might be the best Saison I've ever had.
Yeah.
And
But it's
that's-
not normal for a Saison
No,
either.
no.
So, yeah, I get you there.
So maybe it's a 3.75 to a 4 somewhere in there.
But
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
a-
buying that on accident either. You know what I
no,
mean?
Yeah.
right.
Well, unless you're trying to do the whole limited edition gimmick, right? And
Sure.
there's whole businesses that, reduce the amount of product they make just to make it more special of a product, right?
Yeah, it was an interesting beer, that's for sure. For something I didn't think I was going to like, I really enjoyed it.
I just noticed this now. If you bring in 6 of these empty bottles, they'll give you a free beer.
Nice.
Wow.
The glass.
Okay.
I guess. So that's their way of
Recycling?
Recycling or
and getting
whatever?
something out of it.
It sounds very Colorado to me.
Because it's like, that's $7 usually for a pint of beer at
Yeah.
a brewery.
Think they're washing those bottles and reusing them, maybe? I mean, it's
Maybe.
entirely possible. You sterilize it, it's fine.
Sure, yeah.
There's nothing wrong
I
with
mean,
that.
as long as, why not?
Yeah, there's no reason to crush it up and recycle it then. Huh,
It's really cool. It's definitely hand numbered. Like, this is probably, I don't know how big. They said they were like Nano. Is that what it was?
Nano.
I'm guessing this is like one step up from a big home brewer. You know what I mean?
I think that's probably true.
The artist on this is Pat Collins.
Oh.
And the website is tellwood.com. TELLWOOD.com. So if you want to see this, it looks like a salamander. If I know my kid's books, he would tell me that's probably maybe a fire salamander looking at the sun go down.
Enjoying the sunset.
Yep.
On it maybe is less mountains and more maybe like a desert scene.
It's almost like Durango,
Maybe.
part of Colorado. I don't know.
Yeah.
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 That's what it looks like to me.
I would totally tease the next couple of episodes, but I need to look at the schedule again.
Yep.
So
we have beer. I know that.
I know there's some beers, and there'll be some more beers.
Yeah, we'll get some more.
There could be some music. Maybe there's more wrestling. Maybe there's some sci-fi. You never know. You never, ever know.
That's true.
But in the meantime, we're not going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.